Section 11.4, Compound Events, Day 1. Please write down the essential question. How do I find the probability of mutually exclusive and inclusive events? A simple event is an event that describes a single outcome. A compound event is an event made up of two or more simple events. Mutually exclusive events are events that cannot both occur in the same trial of an experiment. Rolling a 1 and rolling a 2 on the same roll of a number cube are mutually exclusive events. To find the probability of mutually exclusive events, we add the two probabilities together. Example 1. A group of students is donating blood during a blood drive. A student has a 9 out of 20 probability of having a type O blood and a 2/5 probability of having type A blood. Explain why the events type O and type A blood are mutually exclusive. Well, they're mutually exclusive because, let's try this again. Because you cannot have both type O and type A blood at the same time. What is the probability that a student has type O or type A blood? Well, we take the probability of each one and we add them together. So 9 over 20 plus 2 over 5. The denominators are not the same. We need a common denominator, which is going to be 20. So we have 9 over 20 plus 8 over 20 is 17 over 20. Example 2. Each student cast one vote for senior class president. Of the students, 25% voted for Hunt, 20% voted for Klein, and 55% voted for Vila. A student from the senior class is selected at random. Explain why the events voted for Hunt, voted for Klein, and voted for Vila are mutually exclusive. They're mutually exclusive because you can only vote for one person. What is the probability that a student voted for Klein or Vila? Well, 20% voted for Klein. How many voted for Vila? 55%. Add these two together, you get 0.75, which is the same as 75%. Inclusive events are events that have one or more outcomes in common. When you roll a number cube, the outcomes of rolling an even number and rolling a prime number are not mutually exclusive. The number 2 is both prime and even, so the events are inclusive. So for example, there are 3 ways to roll an even number. 2, 4, and 6, there are 3 ways to roll a prime number. 2, 3, and 5, the outcome 2 is counted in both. That's why it's mutually inclusive. When you have a situation which where you have a mutually inclusive event, you add the two probabilities together, but you have to subtract off the probability that they both have in common, so you're not double counting the probability. Example 3. Find the probability on a number cube, rolling a 4 or an even number. Well, even numbers on a number cube consist of 2, 4, and 6. 4 occurs in both, so therefore, to find the probability of rolling a 4 is 1 over 6. The probability of rolling an even number is 3 over 6. We have to subtract off the probability of getting a 4, so we don't double count the 4. So 1 6 plus 3 6 is 4 6, minus 1 6 is 3 over 6, which is 1 over 2. Rolling an odd number or a number greater than 2. Well, odd numbers on a cube. So odd numbers, 1, 3, and 5. Numbers greater than 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. The numbers that repeat between the two are 3 and 5. So the probability of rolling an odd number is 3 over 6. Probability of rolling a number greater than 2 is 4 over 6. And we have to subtract off the two probabilities. So because it's mutually inclusive, or an inclusive event, the 3 and the 5 occur in both, so we have to subtract off 2 over 6. So we don't double count them. 3 plus 4 is 7, minus 2 is 5 over 6. I called them mutually inclusive. That's not the name. It's mutually exclusive, and the other is inclusive. When you have inclusive events, you have to subtract off the event or events that happened in both, so you're not double counting. Example 4, we're going to do in class. The second one, the first one we're going to do right now. A card is drawn from a deck of 52. Find the probability of drawing a king or a heart. So there are 4 kings in a deck. How many hearts are there? There are 13. All right. Probability of drawing a king is 4 over 52. Drawing a heart is 13 over 52. Well, in our hearts, we have a king of hearts. So we have to, because we have a king in the 4 out of 52 and a king in the 13 out of 52, we have to subtract off the 1 out of 52, the inclusive event. The king of hearts occurs here and occurs here. So 4 plus 13 minus 1 is 16 over 52, which reduces to 4 over 13. And here are the video questions. Please do these in your notes.